your host, Thomas. I'm here with Nick Bouchard.
Nicholas Bouchard, yep.
And we're here with Mrs. Hovik today. Hi, how are you?
Great, thanks.
Good.
So Miss Hovik is a, why don't we start? She's a teacher of sorts. We don't know you very well, actually.
Okay.
Blatant, gonna say it. So what exactly do you do here?
I'm the special ed teacher,
Okay.
and that means that I do, I manage a caseload of about 26 students that have some kind of disability.
So how long have you been doing that for?
Well, I've been a special ed teacher for about 10 or 11 years, but I've taught I used to teach 6th grade, and I've taught a lot of classes, but I used to be in Arlington before I came to Marysville.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like you've done both. So do you enjoy teaching special ed more so than?
Well, you know what I really like? I really like high school. I mean, I like what I do because I really feel like I help some students really get some grasp things that they wouldn't be able to get in a larger classroom, because I can narrow it down and focus on things that just like one-on-one almost.
And
So
it's really individualized.
and I really like that, because then when there's an aha moment, it makes me feel that what I'm doing is worth it.
That kind of symbolizes the feelings towards the SLCs in general, trying to make it more one-on-one.
Yes,
Much more so.
compassion and commitment, mentoring, yeah.
Yeah, because with bigger schools, you might not get that whole that experience where you can really get to know a teacher, and then you work through the problems together, and then you can help them to solve their own ways through the problem. And then
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
That's gotta be really rewarding.
It is rewarding.
So you've been doing that for a while. Is there any future career changes or plans that?
No, I plan to stay here until I retire.
In it for the long haul?
I am.
So you said you taught at Arlington. Do you prefer the ISC more than, or what was your favorite
Well, I
school?
wasn't in high school, so I was in an
Okay.
elementary school, so you can't really compare
Yeah.
high school to elementary school because it was a smaller school. But I taught kindergarten, and that was exhausting. and then I taught 6th grade, which, when I was teaching 6th grade, it was in the elementary school.
Oh.
So it was a different experience than like teaching middle school.
Mhm.
But what happened is I decided to leave. My daughter had some health issues, so I quit. And I wasn't sure if she had cancer, and I was going to take care of her. So anyway, then I started to sub in Marysville, and then all of a sudden they asked me if I would start teaching special ed, and I said, well, I don't have an endorsement. And they said, well, we need a special ed teacher. If you are willing to go to school, you can have this job. So it was like handed on a plate. I mean, I did have to go to school. I went online, and I went to SPU during the summer, and it took me a few years. But it was just like it was ready for me to jump into.
So there's a separate license, I guess, for
Endorsement, yeah.
endorsement?
So
Yeah.
what did you have to do to get that endorsement?
I had to take so many credits, which I can't remember now, but they're all related to special ed, like special ed law, transition plans, how to write an IEP. These are all things that we, as case managers, is what we're called, because we manage each student. And so every year, an IEP student has to have a kind of a meeting with parent and team to determine what goals they should have for the year. And it also takes into consideration what they're going to do or what they'd like to do as a transition piece. So, for example, I might gear my students to workforce, or I might push my students toward SNOIL so they can learn learn something specific that they may be interested in, and they go on from there to tech school or college or whatever, so that they have, they're more clued in to what they like.
So you're trying to find the best path for
Yes,
your individual students.
that's part of my job. Yes.
Okay.
So with it like so individualized like that, how do you keep track of all the different students and which student needs to go here and which student you want to end up here? And
Well, luckily, I only have, less than 30. And so what I do is, because when they have their annual IEP, I interview them. I have them take not just academic tests, but also career-type tests to indicate what they may be interested in and what they're good at. And then I take the classes that are offered here or at Snow or other possibilities and try and hook them up so that we can get a plan for their whole high school career, so that they're in the right classes, getting the right things they need to move on.
so when you're not teaching and working with other students, what do you do outside of school or during the summer, things like that?
Well, I really like to travel, and I have friends everywhere and family, so sometimes my one sister lives in Tennessee, another brother lives in Leavenworth, another California. And I also have 4 children and 10 grandchildren.
Wow.
So, and they all live in Arlington, so we're a very close family. So we spend time together and travel and, party. I mean, like all the grandkids in one house is not, that's quite a party, if you know what I mean. You probably don't, but that's what I do in the summer. We all rent a big condo over at Lake Chelan. It's just crazy, but it's so much fun because, you get to spend time with your children.
So what kind of places do you guys travel to?
Well, I've been to, it just depends. I've been to Maui, I've been to Mexico, mostly just in the United States, just like I said, Nashville, and that's fun because my sister lives there, and then we get to go visit, tour the, everything that they do there. So, which normally, even people that live there don't do it, so as a tourist, you get to do it. Like, if my family come here, we go to Seattle, go to Pike Place. Usually, I don't go to Pike Place, but when they want to go, I take them, give them the tour of Seattle, so it's kind of what we do.
So, getting back to what you do here, what would you say is your favorite moment from your entire career teaching, more so than just, doesn't have to be at ISC, but.
My favorite moment. Well, I can just name a couple things that pop into my mind, and it isn't necessarily one moment or a favorite moment, but my favorite moments have been when I see the light bulb go on in the kid, in their head, and their shock and their awe and their confidence level that builds when they realize, oh, I can do this. So that's happened to me many times with my students, and I would say that is the most satisfying thing that happens as a teacher, for me anyway. And also knowing that sometimes these students have had a harder time in the world, in life, in studying, in feeling successful. And knowing that they're developing the confidence, and you can see them in their walk and in their talk and in their relationships with others, and it's very heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a really cool experience. You can learn with them, build with them, and then you all just kind of get to discover that.
And then when they're seniors and they graduate, and it's it's very, because sometimes students drop out, not just kids with needs, but a lot of kids, and I don't want that. I really encourage them, if they think they may not have enough credits to pass or something, I'll look for programs like Washington Youth Academy or just other programs that they could go and get their credit, so they feel they've got it. They get their diploma.
Well, we're going to go into more detail in just a minute, but we're going to cut away to a segment, and it's a story between. Yeah, there's a bit of a twist at the end of it, so
Ooh.
I'll let that play itself out. Welcome back to Charger Chat, and getting back onto topic, without naming names, just kind of describe a student that really has stuck with you through the years.
Okay. It started, I don't think I was at MP. I think I was here. I think it might have been my first year here when we opened ISC Getchell. And I had a student who had a very dysfunctional home.
Oh, no.
No dad in the picture. Struggled, said she could not learn math. Can't learn it, won't learn it, got upset, angry. Lots of drama with everybody in the school. And so she would come into my class, and I like to bond this, because I have such small classes, I like to get the kids to bond and feel comfortable and feel accepted so that they could share what's happening and everybody accepts them and doesn't go, like, that was bad, or why do you do that? So anyway, through the years, I watched her change just slightly and start to go, oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. And so then she was still here, still plugging along. Finally, she all of a sudden she was getting bad grades, and then she started getting C's, and then she started getting B's. By the time she graduated, she had A's, and she works full-time, and she did not go, she went to community college for a little while, but she has a full-time job. She works really hard, and I see her because I go into the place where she works and say hi to her, and she still hugs me.
Oh.
So that was one of the students that I still think about, probably because I still see her.
Yeah. The whole building up your class as a team, it reminds me, because I take leadership, and we do that because our teacher believes it will make us the most productive we can be, and I personally believe that definitely helps students to be comfortable in what they're doing and who they're with.
I agree.
Well, with all these really cool and rewarding experiences, are there any experiences you've had that you look back on and are either disappointed with or like?
Oh yeah.
Well,
that's life.
Well,
there's another student another troubled family, and a total goofball. Really nice. I mean, I love all my students, and so of course he was nice, but he just couldn't keep it together, and of course he got involved with things that he shouldn't have, drugs and alcohol, and left the house and was living with somebody else. And so I watched him just fall. I watched the decline, and it was very hard to watch, knowing that there wasn't really anything I could do. So I don't even know where he is today. I wouldn't be surprised if I heard some really sad news. It was just not a good thing to see.
It's a bit heartbreaking, gonna be on it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sometimes it's kind of hard to help people if they don't want to be helped.
Did he want to be helped, or
At times.
if the topic
He
is
would
too?
come back, like he would drop out for a while, and then he would come back. But part of the problem is that he didn't really have anywhere to go. So as he got older, he was asked to leave. He wasn't able to live with his mother. And then he was asked to leave where he was, and so he was kind of on the street. So he didn't really have anywhere to go. Maybe couch surfing with people that weren't the best choice, and doing the things that were detrimental to him. So that was sad, knowing I couldn't do anything.
Yeah. So if that press topic was a bit too, so we apologize.
No, I'm
yeah.
fine. It's okay.
All right.
That's life.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can brighten the mood. You talked about your family earlier. Let's get into families, like
Okay.
some of the experience you had with mother, grandmother. Any?
Oh
So
boy,
there's always
could I
some good
tell
stories.
some stories. Yes, I had teenagers at the same, 3 teenagers at the same time, and now they're all, just say this, they're all really, really doing well now.
Yeah.
But I wondered, I had days of crying and days of wondering, oh, please, please help me. I don't know what to do here. But I think, you know, if you have 4 kids, you know, you're going to have at least one that's a nutcase. I don't mean it like that, but, you know.
Oh, no.
And then, of course, I love all my grandchildren, and they're almost perfect. But my grandchildren, I have a granddaughter that's like your age. So it's been interesting watching her drive, and now she got a job, and she's a junior, and you know, in Arlington. And so then to see them get dressed up for proms and whatever they do, you know, Tolo, go to games for all those kids. I'm going to basketball, soccer, football, everything.
Okay, well, I'm interested in personally. What you talked about individualizing a student's learning. So what are some of your methods to help individual students?
Well, I think the very first thing you have to do, and we've already kind of discussed the fact that you have to develop a relationship, or they won't share anything with you because they don't know that you care. Even if you tell them, they won't know unless they see it.
Yeah.
So the first thing to individualize anything is to get to know the student as a person and ask them what their goals are, and if they don't have any, because a lot of kids don't, even anybody. I mean, I didn't know what I wanted to do in high school. Then to help them discover that, yes, I can have goals. Yes, I can succeed. Yes, I can find something that I would be interested in doing. And then, and even if it isn't just a life goal, it could be even more of a academic goal, or an organizational goal, or a behavior goal, or a social goal. You know, those are all the things that I have to do with each of these students. So, and sometimes it's easier than others because some students don't want a goal.
Yeah. We're going to be moving to our second segment. We'll get back to the topic at hand, obviously, but our next segment is it's a bit late. I'm going to admit that. It's about an old man who hates Christmas.
For a very unique reason.
Very unique.
Merry Christmas, Grandpa.
Huh. Christmas is stupid.
But how can you hate Christmas?
It all started when I was but a boy. I was so young, full of hope. That year for Christmas I wanted a puppy. Then when I opened the box, Chef Boyardee. After that, it was like I was cursed or something. All my presents turned into Chef Boyardee. My PlayStation, Chef Boyardee. My Xbox, Chef Boyardee. My first car, Chef Boyardee. After that, even when my parents said they got me what I wanted, when I opened up the gifts, it was Chef Boyardee, like a curse. I remember one year, there was a kennel. You know what was inside that kennel? Chef Boyardee.
Welcome back to Charger Chat. We're still here with Mrs. Hovik, the special ed teacher from, is it just ISC or?
Just ISC.
Okay, well, I wasn't clear.
There's a special ed teacher in every building.
All right. Well, right, getting back to, I guess, the kind of family topic. So you're a mother and a grandmother. Do you have any advice for people who are just kind of getting into those roles? You know, because they've talked about having problems with teenagers and things like that.
I just know, looking back, that as a grandmother, it isn't as hard because it's just like, whatever. I mean, whatever is not, and that's not to say that my grandchildren haven't had some issues, but I just don't take it to heart as much. I don't try to take it personally. Like, it's not necessarily a reflection of me. they have to be individuals. So I used to get more uptight with my children than the grandchildren because, I wanted them to be perfect. And of course, that's dumb. Nobody's perfect. But I wanted them to, do it my way. And now as a grandmother, it's like, well, they have to find their own way. So I'm going to just be here to help them and encourage them.
Well, kind of talking about, kids growing up, finding their own way, changing. What kind of ways has teaching changed since you started to now?
Oh, well, it used to be a lot more memorization. Teacher talk, that's it. The kids are just in a row in a class. I mean, they goof around and stuff, but we didn't have the kind of group planning and group discussion and work that the students do now. No, it was more, this, you sit here, you do this is how you learn. It's changed tons.
Yeah. Kind of leads me, they used to always hear stories about having to memorize poems or the Gettysburg Address. They don't do that anymore.
No, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And everything was memorization, maps, everything.
Do you think the changes are positive, or are there some things that...
Oh, a lot of them, a lot of changes are great. It's hard to change. But I miss some of the things that we did. Like, I don't even know if they teach cursive anymore. I think everybody should have be able to write their signature. I don't know if they teach, if they necessarily do much without a calculator anymore. I think sometimes it's good to know how to not just use a calculator. Just little things.
About they don't teach cursive as much.
No, they don't.
There's always a third grade unit.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers the
but-
third grade.
But now, and I don't know if it's because computers are just in, print. But see, a lot of my kids want me to teach them how to write their name cursive, so I do that too.
Okay.
I mean, I don't use my cursive for much else anymore except for signature.
But can you write it?
Yeah.
Okay, they can.
So we apologize that we didn't really know you much. In the 3 years we've been here, we haven't had a chance to actually sit down, talk with you like we are now. So what do you want students like us to know more about your program? And
I guess the biggest thing is that I want my students to feel accepted. So sometimes when kids come and they think, I have to go in that room, they think, oh, that's bad, I don't want to be seen in there. So I think a lot of the students don't know what I do, because they just think I run around here. They know me, they see my face, they know who I am, but they don't know what I do, which is fine. Because I tell my students, don't worry, they don't even know what you're doing in here. And sometimes they ask if they can come in because they want to learn what you're learning. So I guess I like being part of the team, but it's okay if people don't know who I am. I mean, I have an advisory and they all know me, and that's just life. It's the way it is.
Have you always wanted to be a teacher, or when did that kind of get on your radar?
College.
College?
Yeah. I came from a big family. I was the oldest. But, no, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
so, well, maybe with more experience now, what else would you, if you didn't know, but what else might you have done?
Well, it wasn't going to be hair. I can't do hair. And it wasn't going to be anything with math, except now I teach math, but I wasn't going to be higher level, So, I don't know, I liked reading and language arts a lot when I was in high school. Did a lot with that. And even back then we dabbled in multimedia. So I did a presentation way back then with that. We had these innovative young teachers. So I kind of like that. So, but I don't know where that would have led. I got married right out of college and didn't.
So teaching has practically just been it's what you've always
I
wanted.
mean, I've worked and done other things, but.
Yeah. Career-wise.
Well, I've even taught aerobics. I mean, I've done different types of jobs, but maybe a personal shopper.
Yeah, I guess that'd be kind of fun. You just get to buy things with other people's money.
Yeah, yeah.
So, how do you keep your students engaged? I mean, there's the team building, which makes them more willing, but high school students goof around and a lot. So, what's a method you use to keep your students on track? Because teachers can be strict, or
Well, you have to know the game, and part of the game is that they want you to get off topic, so that they're goofing around, so that you're talking about what you did last night at dinner or something, so they don't have to do their math or whatever, and then they want to, and I allow that for about 2 minutes. It's okay. We've got 2 more minutes to talk about the baby that you're making in biology, but after that, we're going. So I give them a little bit of room, but then, and you know what? They work for me. I mean, I walk around and help them, and we have fun in there, and usually, I don't know. I just relate to kids.
so you can kind of give them a little leeway on the leash, and then
And then pull it back.
Yeah.
And they seem to go. It seems to go okay.
If a student is falling behind, what are some ways that you can help them, or they can maybe help themselves to try to catch back up, get back?
Yeah.
Get their grades up?
Yeah, that's when we have talks with not only teachers, other teachers, but call home, talk to parents, have a meeting, organize the students' backpack, get those assignments in, show them what they're missing, help them understand what they're missing. So I have an assistant, an educational assistant, and so she works for me. So I give her some things that she needs to do. So she actually goes, which I do too, but she goes to all the different classrooms and works with these kids individually. And then she tells me what she's doing, and then we can develop a plan so that they can get caught up.
So, yeah, I have problems with this organization. Might help the normal.
Oh
student.
yeah, of course.
'Cause I have
See my closet.
I have problems with grades and organization, but we're going to be getting into our last segment here, and see, I guess we're having some technical difficulties, so we're going to do a good old rerun.
I like this segment.
Yeah, I like the segment. And so it's a commercial. This goes wrong, though. So we'll be back after this.
Hey kids, do you ever feel lonely? Don't you wish there was a friend that could be there with you all the time? Well, now you can. With the invention of Rare Bears, you can have a friend with you at all times. And don't you worry. When you get too old for them, they'll be worth a lot of money.
People of America, you have been lied to. The Rare Bear Company is corrupt. Their promises of friendship, of value, they owe me nothing. I've been collecting them for 24 years, and for no use. What was it all for?
Thomas, what are you doing? It's 3 in the morning. Go back to bed.
Mom!
Welcome back, Marysville. We're going to have to be wrapping up. I've been told that we're out of time. So, Ms. Hovik, is there anything you want to tell the audience, or a lasting impact?
Compromise. Be kind.
Be accepting?
Of course.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.